Welcome back, Elaine, to another Art of Letting Go live session. So let's jump into our text reading we'll do today. Title of today's session is How Forgiveness Brings the End of Time. So we'll jump straight into the text that tells us exactly how that works. Give me a moment, I'll share my screen. Setting up the live stream. Okay, it's not happening. Never mind. Sorry, just taking a bit of time. Let's just get the live stream going. Internet seems to be a bit slow, actually. Okay, it's just taking forever. Can you hear me okay, Elaine?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So internet seems to be inordinately slow for some reason. Just gonna share my screen. Okay, can you see that?
Yes.
All right, so this one is section 6, chapter 29. So we're getting towards the end of the text now. I've got 2 more chapters to go. Forgiveness and the end of time, or in our alternative language, letting go and the end of time. 6 paragraphs. So yeah, how see how much. So I'll read the original, you read the alternative. How willing are you to forgive your brother?
How willing am I to let go of my misperceptions of my companions?
Yeah. So that's really what forgiving your brother means.
Yeah.
It's quite a translation that's gone into that. To let go of my misperceptions of my companions. That's what forgiving your brother really means.
Yeah.
How much you desire peace instead of endless strife and misery and pain.
How much do I desire peace instead of endless strife, misery, and pain?
Change that to conflict. Strife is quite old-fashioned. Conflict. These questions are the same in different form.
These questions are the same in different form.
Forgiveness is your peace. For herein lies the end of separation and the dream of danger and destruction, sin and death, of madness and of murder, grief and loss.
Letting go is my peace, for herein lies the end of separation and the dream of danger, destruction, grief, and loss.
This is the, quote, sacrifice salvation asks, and gladly offers peace instead of this.
This is the sacrifice adornment asks, and it gladly offers peace instead of this. So
change that to awakening instead of adornment. This is the sacrifice awakening asks.
Yeah.
and it gladly offers peace instead of this. Okay, from the top.
How willing am I to let go of my misperceptions of my companions? How much do I desire peace instead of endless conflict, misery, and pain? These questions are the same in different form. Letting go is my peace, for herein lies the end of separation and the dream of danger, destruction, grief, and loss. This is the sacrifice awakening asks, and it gladly offers us peace instead of this. Well, it just says it all. Just you have a choice. The letting go of the misperceptions, which just gives us endless conflict and misery and pain, or we choose this. Well, it's obviously been a bit sarcastic here. The sacrifice of awakening is what will bring us the peace. So is it really such a sacrifice? I think, sorry, that's what it's saying. Is this really a sacrifice? Yeah.
Both, sacrifice, which is what the ego is perceiving, saying, oh, you're losing, you're losing something by forgiving or letting go in this way. And he's saying, well, is this really a sacrifice? By putting it in quotes. Gladly offers peace instead of it. So all you lose is separation, danger, destruction, grief, loss. There's murder as well in there. Murder, grief, and loss, sin and death, end of separation, the dream of danger, destruction. Don't know why it took those out. Sin, death, madness, murder. He does lay it on thick, doesn't he? It's
He
like,
does.
okay. Let's just have a look at all of the things that you actually are letting go of.
I know.
Danger, destruction, sin, death, madness, murder, grief, and loss. Okay, well, is that really such a bad thing to not have any of
Yes,
that?
that's why it's sort of
Do
bit
I
of a
really want to hold on to that?
black comedy. Yeah. Well, this is it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. It's sort of laughable. If it weren't, it's a tragic comedy, this world.
Yeah. Mm.
It's insane what goes on. But nevertheless, in the dream, if you're caught up in these dreams of danger, destruction, sin, death, madness, murder, grief, and loss, then it's incredibly painful. It seems to be very painful for those who believe the story. But he's saying, but it's just a story you've told yourself. You're playing this role, you're believing in all of this carnage and this chaos, and actually you're fine. Really, you absolutely won't. Nothing's really changed. You're still pure formless awareness of perfect love, and that remains. But we're just playing this crazy game, a game of make believe, where all this stuff seems to be real, and frightening the life out of yourself, killing yourself repeatedly, over and over.
It's mad.
Why are you doing this? Why? He says, why are you doing this? And then he goes on, so swear not to die, you holy son of God.
I will not swear to die because I am wholly innocent extension of perfect love.
You make a bargain that you cannot keep.
I make a bargain that I cannot keep.
So when I choose to die, I'll just add a bit to that. When I choose to die, I make a bargain that I cannot keep. The Son of Life cannot be killed.
The extension of life cannot be killed.
He is immortal as his Father.
It is immortal as its source.
Let's just say it is as immortal as its source, and it would be better English. It is as immortal as its source. What he is cannot be changed.
What it is cannot be changed.
He is the only thing in all the universe that must be one.
It is the only thing in the universe of time and space that must be one.
Let me capitalize one. What seems eternal, all will have an end.
What seems eternal here will have an end.
Say everything. Everything that seems eternal here will have an end. The stars will disappear and night and day will be no more.
The stars will disappear and night and day will be no more.
Night and day will end. Because night and day are all part of the construct. It's just the Earth's spinning around the sun and it's revolving on its axis, and so we have these illusions of change. Night and day and shift and change is all part of the construct. All of that's going to end, is what it's telling us.
Right.
Because there will be no more material universe. So there'll be no more planets, no more stars, no more galaxies. The entire construct is a projection of the mind. Well, the ego goes, well, that's pretty big, like just to blot out the entire universe that it's made. It struggles to get its mind around that. But all you're doing is you're letting it go and you're transcending it. You're going into another reality and just leaving this entire one behind, which isn't actually that hard to
No.
do.
No. Yeah.
It just seems to. The ego makes it
Yeah.
seem impossible.
Yeah.
It's
Well, this
not
is it.
actually. It's
Yes.
like, well, I mean, the best way of explaining this is like it's a dream at night. You can be really caught up in your dream. You can be trying to work out all these intricacies in your dreams, and then you wake up and you go, oh, it's another reality. Actually, the dream is nowhere. Dream's gone. That's, it's the same idea with spiritual awakening. All of that convolution and all the rules and the construct that I thought I was in when I was dreaming is gone because I'm now awoken and I'm in a different reality. So actually, that's not that hard to do. You just got to wake up. So all things that come and go, the tides, the seasons, and the lives of men, all things that change with time and bloom and fade, will not return.
Where am I? Oh, yes.
Number
All
9.
things, all things that come and go, and all things that change with time and bloom and fade, the tides, the seasons, the lives of humans will not return.
Maybe we'll just say will not exist. Where time is set an end is not where the eternal is.
Where time is set an end is not where the eternal is.
God's Son can never change by what men made of him.
Perfect love's extension can never change through what humans made of it.
Thank God for that.
Yes,
You can say so.
very
So
true.
the entire mess we've made actually doesn't matter, fortunately. And that's the basis of radical forgiveness. It doesn't matter. Whatever the mess is, it doesn't matter because it's not reality.
Yeah.
He will be as he was and as he is, for time appointed not his destiny, nor set the hour of his birth and death.
It will be it. It will be it. No, it will be as it was and as it is. The time did not make its destiny, nor set the hour of its birth and death.
Yeah, so we're not bound by these illusions, which seem to be, very binding in our human lives. Birth and death, pretty significant events in any human life, but actually we're beyond that. So forgiveness will not change him.
Letting go will not change it.
Hmm.
Letting go will not change it.
Maybe we should just make this. I'm saying maybe we should just personalize from about here. Perfect love's extension can never change to what humans made of it. So I will be as it was and as it still is. Let's make it personal. I think it's much more powerful. I will be as it was and as it still is, i.e., the extension of love. For time did not make my destiny nor set the hour of my birth and death. much more powerful, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
Put it in the letting go will not change
me.
me or it, we could say. Yet the time will not change it or me. Just that will not change the extension of perfect love or me. Yet time waits. Okay, so then yet we haven't done this one. Yet time waits upon forgiveness that the things of time may disappear because they have no use.
Yet time waits on letting go so that the things of time may disappear because they have no use. And from the top, I will not swear to die because I am wholly innocent extension of perfect love. When I choose to die, I make a bargain that I cannot keep. The extension of life cannot be killed. It is as immortal as its source. What it is cannot be changed. It is the only thing in all the universe of time and space that must be one. Everything that seems eternal here will have an end. The stars will disappear, and night and day will end. All things that come and go, and all things that change, with time and bloom and fade, the tides, the seasons, and the lives of humans will not exist. Where time has set an end is not where the eternal is. Perfect love's extension can never change through what humans made of it. I will be as it was, as it still is. For time did not make my destiny, nor set the hour of my birth and death. Letting go will not change the extension of perfect love or me. Yet time waits on letting go so that things of time may disappear because they are useless. Well, that last sentence says it all.
Yeah. Time waits on letting go. So letting go doesn't really change you. It just restores you to who you already are. That's all. So that seems like a change in time because your ego is being undone, but you're just being returned to your original state. And that's necessary. Time waits on letting go. Well, until you let go, time continues. So lack of forgiveness and time go hand in hand, as does forgiveness or letting go and eternity. So letting go is the mechanism of returning your mind to the eternal state, which is its natural and original state, and just lets everything else go. And so it disappears because you recognize it as useless. So what then is the point of this entire universe, world, and this teaching is saying there is no point.
Mm.
Thank God there's no. If there were a
Mm.
point to it, then it would have a real purpose and a real meaning, and we'd be bound to it forever, wouldn't we? If it had a point,
Mm. Mm.
real purpose, then you would be caught up in it forever, and there would be no way out. So this is hugely important to understand on a deep level and accept. It's the acceptance of this. Now, a lot of people go, "Oh, that's a bit radical." You know, I kind of I don't want something quite as full on. I want a spirituality that's a bit more kind of compromising. Like I can still have my human life in this world. A
Mm.
spirituality that does that.
Mm.
But that is a dualistic spirituality. That's a spirituality that compromises that it's a bit like putting a little band-aid on a festering wound.
I
You
suppose
know, you've got this cancer or something, and that it really needs to be undone
yeah,
at its, and then you just put a band-aid over it and go, oh, well, this will make you feel a little bit better. It's going to be okay.
I
But actually,
suppose
it's
it's
not.
probably a start for somebody, to start the dualistic spirituality, and then eventually the non-dual is the only way to finally get there, I guess. So for the beginner, Would that be the way you
Yeah,
would
it's
look
it's
at it?
it's it's part of. I mean, we all start there. No one goes straight to non-duality. Well, I wouldn't say no one. I mean, there are rare exceptions, like Ramana Maharshi, for instance.
Yeah,
Age of
yeah,
60, wakes up into, yeah, none of this is real, and I'm just my true immortal self. But that's relatively rare. For most people, it's this evolving process, and so they start
yes,
questioning.
yes,
Maybe they get into things like the manifestation. Yeah, I want to make my life better, so I'll go on this path of trying to grow myself, personal growth. There's a whole industry
yes,
that
yes,
caters for that. People start there. That's where I started. Think and Grow Rich, and then Tony
yeah,
Robbins, and they're telling you, well, yes, with by changing your thoughts, you can create a better reality, and you can make your life better. And to a point that sort of seems to be credible, and it can work to a
yes.
point. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
because your mind does have power, you can see changes, and then but the fact is you still are in this construct of sickness, pain, suffering, and you're
Yeah,
doomed to die. Let's
eventually, especially if you're getting older,
let's
yes.
face it, like whatever you do within the construct, you're still going to die.
But this
So
is it.
this is saying, well, you've got to look at that and go, well, maybe you just rearranging all of that personal growth type stuff. You kind of rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, to
Yeah,
give you
yes,
an analogy, right? The ship's going down, you are going to die, but temporarily you've rearranged the chairs, and now you go, oh yeah, this is quite nice. It's a pleasant dream, but all the while the Titanic's sinking, and
mm,
just a matter of time before you drown and you're dead, and the whole dream is
mm,
revealed for what it is as pointless, and it was always a sinking ship.
yeah,
So awakening is just recognizing the whole dream is futile and pointless. None of it really means anything, and being willing to let it all go. So all of the little trinkets, the little goals that your ego holds out for you, you see all of those as just part of this pointless, futile construct. And when you can let all of that go in your mind, then you've truly awoken. And then time has no more point. That's what he's saying. Time, there's no more purpose to time when you see it for what it is. It's pointless. It's a pointless, futile endeavor to create a separate reality when I don't have a separate reality. I'm trying to kill myself and suffer and die when I can't. It's not possible because I am immortal and I'm eternal. This is why they say enlightenment in Zen, one of the Zen sayings is enlightenment is a joke. Because when you really get it, you just got to go, that's just that's just so ridiculous. You got to laugh. So you think you can suffer and die, and you've killed yourself multiple times, and yet it's not possible. Your mind cannot die. So all you do is you recycle and you do the same thing again in another body, and you play the same game again and again. And awakening is just seeing the ridiculousness of that game, saying, okay, I'm done. That's just pointless. There's no point in coming here and dreaming again. And all of these constructs of time and space, all things that change with time, bloom and fade, so the seasons come and go, flowers, nature, it has these cycles, the tides, the seasons, the lives of humans will simply not exist. They just disappear because none of them have a point anymore.
mm.
A
It
lot
just,
of people struggle with this. They go, oh, that's a bit radical. Like, I can't really accept that because I still want an aspect of the world. I still cherish something. I still see value here. You see,
mm.
this is the problem. Well, what about all the good things? What about friends and family and
And pets,
loved ones? And what about
your
nice
cat,
sunsets? And what about dogs and cats and
yeah, that's
animals
my
and
thing, yes.
cuddling up together with my special partner and having a cozy cuddle and a glass of wine or sex or all these things. What about all that? And this is saying, well, all that's got to go because it's all part of a construct that's ultimately going to kill you. So what's the point?
Mm,
You can
mm,
do all that, but you're going to die inevitably. And so the finality of that, I mean, death can be your greatest teacher. Because if you see that it's all comes to nothing in the end, you're going
yeah.
to die. The moment you're born, you're going to go through all these experiences and you're going to die. Well, what's the point? Why are you doing that? just for the experience. Some teachings say, well, you came to experience. God comes to experiencing himself, itself in the dream as a separate self temporarily. Okay, so God's gonna suffer and die and create this illusion of suffering and death to kill itself? Well, why would God do that? It doesn't really make sense, does it?
No, no.
You can try as hard as you like to make it. Why would an eternal, infinite love do that to itself and so degrade itself that it, could think of that it could suffer and die and become a victim of itself? Like, why would that be something that God would do? And why would that make any sense whatsoever? When God is eternal, infinite love that is perfect and whole and complete, why would this ridiculous charade of pain, misery, suffering, and death be necessary? And the answer is it's not necessary. That's the answer. There is no point to any of it. So it never happened. It's not real. It's your own miscreation that simply needs to be let go of and consigned to the dustbin, which is all it's for. So forgiveness is just consigning the whole thing to the dustbin and going, I'm done with it, enough. And it will just disappear eventually because it's not needed anymore. So you see it as completely useless.
Mm.
So very, this is the non-dual teaching.
Very
Very like
radical.
no
Very.
compromise here. If you make one compromise and you say, well, I like a little part of the dream, I like that little
My
aspect of the dream,
cattle, yeah.
and I want to hold on to that, well, then you got to buy the whole thing. You got to buy the whole dream, hook, line, and
Yeah.
sinker,
Mm.
which means you're going to die, which means you will suffer and you will die. Okay,
Yeah.
well, if you want to do that, you're just saying, if you want to crucify yourself, you can do that as many times as you want. But that's not the message I came to give you. That's not the teaching. I came to say you don't have to do this anymore. There is a way out. If you will follow me, I'll show you the way out. Because I've found the way out of time and space. He's
Mm.
done it before us. He's walked the path. He's found the way, and now he's gracious enough to come back into time via this course and say, okay, here's a helping hand. Follow me. I'll give
Mm.
you this very explicit guidance to help you to find your way out of time and space, as I did. And you
Quite
become like,
incredible. And he was only a young man. He was only 33 when he reached crucifixion, when he had the
yeah, yeah, but again,
crucifixion.
I mean, like Ramana, he probably had, multiple lives. He was an
Yeah,
advanced
yeah,
soul. So
yeah.
he came in, that was his final life. He already, I mean, it was recorded in the Bible. He had this incredible wisdom at the age of, 12. He's
Mm.
busy sitting in the temple, speaking to the rabbis and, the teachers of the law, and they're going, whoa, this guy's like, how does he know all this stuff? He's coming with a wisdom that they didn't have because it's multiple lives.
Right.
Uh, so that's advanced soul. So it's not just one lifetime of learning. That's many lifetimes, which then you carry with you. And that was his final one, where he became the Christ. He went through the whole the ministry, and then the crucifixion was his final big lesson to let go of the body identity, just drop it all and say, okay, I'm done, and I'll go through this for the higher good, and recognize that the body is meaningless. So that the body and the suffering and the death are absolutely meaningless. I will go through that experience myself, and I will teach it to the world through this demonstration that I'm going to give the world. Possibly the most powerful demonstration ever given of the meaninglessness of the ego, the futility and the powerlessness of this thought system of death, murder and death, and the ultimate triumph of life over that, which was demonstrated through the crucifixion and the resurrection, which probably is the most powerful demonstration of the triumph of spirit over ego in human history, which is why it formed the foundation of the biggest religion in the world. And universally, I think everyone, knows the story, and everyone acknowledges, other spiritual traditions acknowledge that there was something very profound that happened there, even if they're not Christian. They acknowledge, Yeshua was a most other teachings certainly the Eastern ones, will acknowledge Yeshua was a spiritual master.
Mm.
That he had the same wisdom as the Buddha and Lao Tzu and Krishna and all these other masters through time. He was just one of a long line, and that was his journey, was to demonstrate it so graphically and record it for all time in history that we now have this very powerful teaching and lesson that we can follow and say, okay, someone has done this, and that has been demonstrated. It's been recorded in history. You could say, well, there's theories he didn't even exist, but in time, there's eyewitness accounts, there's historical records that he did, and that these things were written down by many eyewitnesses, and they recorded in the gospel. So, okay, well, if you're going to question those, and you're questioning all of recorded history, well, then did the Romans happen, and you can go there if you want. Ultimately, none of it is real, but within the dream, that is what happened. And it was necessary in the dream as part of the awakening. And now 2000 years later, what's incredible is he's leveraging off that, because we
Mm.
know the story, we know who Jesus is. And now he's coming in with this course and saying, okay, but you've got it all wrong for 2000 years. This is actually what I taught. And here it is in plain English for all to read and learn from, if you're willing to listen and to study these words. And it's freely available, which is also by divine design. There's no copyright on it. So anyone can access this. You can download it, you can read it, you can learn, and it's just, how many will do that? Well, there's only two of us here. You have to question why.
Mm.
Well, because the world distracts people, it gives them other purposes, and they run around chasing their tail in the illusion, and not doing the only thing that is really necessary, which is letting go
Mm.
and awakening. That's all we have here to do.
Mhm.
But it's a
Mm.
it's a rare mind that understands that and will go the whole way, because of all the difficulties and the obstacles and the distractions in the world that are designed to sabotage the letting go and to keep us in prison.
Mm.
All right, so happy with number two. I think
Yeah,
that's fairly
yes.
clear, very
Mm.
comprehensive, and it's very, there's no compromise in this. That's the beauty of it. That's why it's going to free you completely. You don't, there's no compromise. Not saying you're going to have a little bit of the dream that's going to remain. He's just going, no, the whole thing is just going to disappear and go
Mm.
into non-existence. And all you sacrificing really, as he says, is
All this
sin, death,
madness.
danger, destruction, sin, death, madness, murder, grief, loss, pain in all of its forms. That's all you're really letting go of. Okay, well, surely that's to be welcomed. Why would you want to hang on to any of that stuff?
Mm.
The ego, you see, has created dualistic dreams. So it says, oh, well, it's not all bad. What about the good things?
Well, that's it.
And
Yeah.
the good things are
That's,
always, the contrast is, well, there's always going to be the bad stuff as well. So you can't have the good without the bad. That's duality in this
mm.
world. And this is saying, well, just flush the whole thing away. Like flush it all away. It's just pull the plug on it, unplug from the matrix. It's all gone. And you return your mind to this base state of pure formless awareness, which doesn't change, where there's no duality. There's none of these shifts and changes. Good and evil and light and darkness don't exist there. It's just one singular awareness. So let's carry on. Number three, nothing survives its purpose.
Yeah. Nothing survives its purpose.
If it is conceived to die, then die it must, unless it does not take this purpose as its own.
If it is conceived to die, then it must die unless it does not take this purpose as its own.
Change is the only thing that can be made a blessing here, where purpose is not fixed, however changeless it appears to be.
Change is the only thing that I can be made a blessing here, where, however changeless it may appear to be, purpose is not fixed.
So the ego's given us this fixed purpose, but it's not fixed. The ego says your purpose is to be a human, to be a separate self, to go through the drama of life, the ups and the downs, to suffer and to die. That's the ego's purpose. But that is not a fixed purpose, and it's not unchangeable. Fortunately. Otherwise, we'd be condemned to do this over and over again. There'd be no way out. So think not that you can set a goal unlike God's purpose for you and establish it as changeless and eternal.
I will not think that I can set a goal unlike perfect love's purpose for me and establish it as changeless and eternal.
You can give yourself a purpose that you do not have.
I can give myself a purpose that I do not have.
But you cannot remove the power to change your mind and see another purpose there.
But I cannot remove the power to change my mind and perceive another purpose there. From the top, nothing survives its purpose. It is conceived to die, then it must die unless it does not take this purpose as its own. Change is the only thing that I can be made into a blessing here, where, however changeless it may appear to be, my purpose is not fixed. I will not think I can set a goal unlike perfect love's purpose for me and establish it as changeless and eternal. I can give myself a purpose that I do not have, but I cannot remove the power to change my mind and perceive another purpose there.
Okay, so what's he saying?
Yeah.
Summary.
Well, it's saying about this purpose that nothing survives it. The purpose of the ego, I guess. So if
you can change your mind, so you can change your purpose. Your purpose isn't fixed. You're not doomed to carry on this ridiculous purpose of being a separate self, suffering and dying over and over again, because that can be changed. And whatever you do, you cannot remove the power to change your mind and perceive another purpose. So you will always have the power to change your mind. And that's the one power that remains to you in the dream. You can change your perspective on it. You can change your perception. Whatever your situation. So think of the extreme situations that people have had. Viktor Frankl being a really good example. World War II in a concentration camp, Nazi concentration camp, just imprisoned, enslaved, any point you could die, horrible conditions. His whole family's been murdered. I mean, just about that's kind of hell. It's about as
bad as it can
bad
get.
yeah. And yet he exercises the one power he has, which is to choose how he perceives it in that situation. And he gives himself another purpose. And his purpose is, this is a lesson. I'm learning this, and I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to bring this lesson to the world. That is my purpose. So he repurposes the whole experience in his mind, and no one can take that away from you, because no one can tell you how you think. That's the one power we have. The Nazis could imprison him. They could put his body in captivity. They could treat him abominably. They could deprive him of food. They could even kill his body. They didn't, but they could have. But they could not tell him what to think about the situation. That was entirely up to him. And that's what he realized. No one can ever take away that power, no matter how tempting it is to give them the power to do that. They cannot do that, because you have the power to change your mind if you choose to. And when you exercise that power, then that's the miracle. Simple as that. You choose a miracle rather than the crucifixion and the suffering and the death of the ego. And even in the most dire situations, actually, especially in those situations, that's when often people awaken, because they have to. Like, it's so dire, it's so awful. There's really nothing good about a concentration camp. It's just hell. So all of the trappings of the ego have been removed. And you're either going to go, this is hell, I just want to die. Many did. You'd see men coming in and they'd be fit and strong and healthy when they came in, and then within 6 months they're dead.
Mm.
because they just lost, just like this is hell.
Lost
And
the
it's,
will. Mm.
yeah, because they couldn't repurpose. They were going, well, all I can see is this hellish material existence that I'm in, and I just want out.
Mm.
The only way that he could survive was, okay, I've got to repurpose this in my mind, and I need to get through this to teach a lesson to the world, to bring this teaching to the world through my experience. And that is what kept him going for four long years. And then within a year of being released, 1946, he wrote the book, Man's Search for Meaning, which has been a profound inspiration to millions of people. It sold 16 odd million copies. So, only that higher purpose could keep him going. You have to go deeper and see something else in the dream. And often when it gets really bad, then, you get the chance to do that. So if you reach a crisis and it gets really bad, that can be a turning point. That can be actually your greatest gift if you see it correctly. The
Mm.
dark night of the soul is the invitation to finally let go of the ego and awaken to what's beyond it. But if you sort of comfortably numb, I mean, most people in our middle class society are kind of comfortably numb. It's not great, but it's kind of okay. Yeah. Sort of,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
got enough money to live a reasonable life and
Yes.
maybe a bit of
Hmm.
disposable income to have a bit of entertainment and a bit of pleasure. And, I'm reasonably comfortable, but I'm not really that happy. And there's always going to be issues. I'm not happy in my relationship, or I've got financial issues, or maybe health issue. There's always that, but it's not bad enough for me to go, I just lump the whole thing. Enough's enough.
Mm.
It's kind of comfortably numb. And so that's how most people go.
Hmm.
And until they get a crisis, then often they don't awaken. It's just all too humdrum and too acceptable, really. It's kind of like the frog in boiling water, it's like slowly, when you raise the temperature of the water, the frog just doesn't notice, and then eventually it just cooks. It's
Mm.
kind of that's what the ego is doing to most people.
Mm.
So you have to
Mm.
become more sensitive to that boiling water and go, oh, the temperature is getting hotter. I'm sensitive to that. Actually get out. I need to jump out now. I need to get out of this whole system because I'm cooking
Mm.
alive in the system
Yeah.
rather than just, going along and just comfortably numb, and I'll just kind of carry
Yeah.
on and expect some kind of miracle in the world to save me. I remember, did you ever see the Poseidon Adventure? It's just come to mind. So I'll share the story. This is
Mm.
quite a
Mm.
profound lesson. It was with
Mhm.
an old movie with Gene Hackman, the original one. I think they remade it. But it
Right.
was like back in the 60s or 70s it was made. A young
Mm.
Gene Hackman. So the story is the ship has got overturned in a storm. The ship is now upside down, but no one really knows what's going on, right? They're in it and they're like, well, we don't know what's actually happened. And they're in this big ballroom, and Gene Hackman has gone up a level, and he's looking down at these masses and going, please come. There's a ladder. You've got a chance. We need to get out because the ship is turned upside down and the water's going to come and you're all going to drown if you stay here. And they're going,
Mm.
no, 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 we don't believe it. No, 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 we'll just stay here. Someone's going to come and rescue us. And
Mm.
he pleads and he pleads for a minute or two, and he's like, okay, he's got his little band. There's a few people who say, I'll come with you because I believe you. But the majority just say, no, no, someone will come and save us. And then, of course, Hollywood creates a dramatic scene because as they're leaving, lo and behold, the water comes rushing in, and then everyone's like, "Oh my God, he was right!" But now it's too late because the water's flooding, and we're all getting washed away. And it's like,
Mm.
and that's kind of how it is in the world. You plead and you plead and
Mm.
you
It's a
say,
good
"Come, it's a
analogy.
sinking
Mhm.
ship. This isn't going to work. Follow me on this." Yeah, it's going to be a difficult journey because they've got to now journey up through the ship to get to the surface, and it's going to be difficult, but you've got a chance of freeing yourself. Whereas if you
Mm.
stay here, it's guaranteed you're going to die. But not everyone listens to that message, as in the movie. They're like, no, no,
Mm.
no, it's the ego's going to save us. It's okay. Someone's going to come and save us. And the answer is no, no one's going to save you. Only you can save you. Only a change of mind, the fundamental change of mind, and a willingness to take the journey, the hero's journey of awakening, is going to save you. That's what's going to get you out. So are you up for it or not? That's the question. And in every moment we're getting asked that question. Are you up for it or not? Most people say no, no, no. Computer says no, I'll just stay where I am. And then they suffer and they die. because that's what you get when you listen to the ego. It's a death wish. You can't, and the issue says, I can't help you if you want to keep doing that to yourself. You have to change your mind. You have to follow my teachings and what I'm saying. You know, whoever does these words, he said in the Bible, will be saved. Those who don't listen are going to suffer. And that's just the way it is. That's not cruel. He's not being unkind. He's just saying, well, your mind is powerful. So if you want to do this to yourself and crucify yourself and make yourself suffer and die, then I can't stop you. You're going to do that. I can only give you another purpose and ask you to accept it and follow the way I followed, and then I can help you. But if you won't accept it, then no one can help you. Okay, so happy to go on. Change is the greatest gift God gave to all that you would make eternal, to ensure that only heaven would not pass away.
Change is the greatest gift pure formless awareness of perfect love gave to all that I would make eternal, to ensure that only the state of pure formless awareness would not pass away.
You were not born to die.
I was not born to die.
You cannot change because your function has been fixed by God.
I cannot change because my function has been fixed by pure formless awareness of perfect love.
All other goals are set in time, and change that time might be preserved, excepting one.
All other goals except this one are set in time and changed so that time is preserved.
Forgiveness does not aim at keeping time, but at its ending when it has no use.
Letting go does not aim at keeping time, but at its ending when it has no use.
So before its ending. So time is only useful as long as you believe that it is. It's as simple as that. When its purpose is ended, it is gone.
When its purpose is ended, it is gone.
So it will be gone. But as long as you think it still has a purpose, it's going to carry on. Well, of course, because your mind gives it a purpose and a meaning. And so it's going to carry on with believing in it. And where it once held seeming sway is now restored, the function God established for his son in full awareness.
And where it once held seeming sway, the function perfect love established for its extension is now restored to its full awareness.
Yeah. Once held seeming, where it once was seemingly dominant, maybe it might be better. Function perfect love established for its extension is now restored to its full awareness. Maybe we'll say to my full awareness. My full awareness, make it personal. There is no death because no, sorry, number 8. Time can set no end to its fulfillment nor its changelessness.
Time can set no end to its fulfillment nor its changelessness.
Rephrase that. Time cannot end. You happy with that? Can set no end. Time cannot end its fulfillment or its changelessness. Maybe just make it simpler. Time cannot end its fulfillment or its changelessness. So time has no power to to start this fulfillment of the extension of perfect love and you becoming one with it. Although it seems to, it actually has no power because what we're talking about is eternal, so it's not of time. Eternal means no time. So all of the laws of time and space don't apply in the eternal. There is no death because the living share the function their creator gave to them.
There is no death because the living share the function their source gives to them.
Life's function cannot be to die.
Life's function cannot be to die.
It must be life's extension, that it be as one forever and forever without end.
It must be the extension of life so that it be one eternally and without end. Right, and from the top. Change is the greatest gift pure formless awareness of perfect love gave to all that I would make eternal to ensure that only the state of pure formless awareness would not pass away. I was not born to die. I cannot change because my function has been fixed by pure formless awareness of perfect love. All other goals except this one are set in time and change so that time is preserved. Letting go does not aim at keeping time, but for its ending when it will have no use. When its purpose is ended, it will be gone, and where it once was seemingly dominant, the function perfect love established for its extension is now restored to my full awareness. Time cannot end its fulfillment or its changelessness. There is no death because the living share the function their source gives to them. Life's function cannot be to die. It must be the extension of life so that it be one endlessly and eternally. So, yeah, it's saying that, this life is not, it's not its purpose to die. It's not its function.
Mm.
It's an extension of this oneness, which is endless and eternal. There is no time.
And there is no death. See, time and death go together.
Mm, mm,
Death only happens in time. Death implies change. You can be living one moment and then you can die one moment. And it's bizarre, really. You're alive and then you're dead.
Oh yeah.
And that can happen instantly.
Oh
Like in a
yes. Yeah,
moment,
we've seen
your
it.
entire
Yeah.
life can end. You have some accident or you have a heart attack or boom, that's it. End of oh my God, what an unstable environment that is. At any point you
Mm,
could die. Your entire life, your entire existence, all your goals, your dreams, your hopes, your fear, all just gone in an instant.
or
How
you
can
see
we
it,
believe that's reality?
or you can see it in people or animals. Yeah, they're there 1 minute and then
Yeah. And that's the nature of the dream. These characters come and go, they're born, they have their little life, and then they die, inevitably.
mm,
When you see that, pets can be a great teacher in this, aren't they?
mm,
Because, well, they come, they don't last as long as you do.
no.
10, maybe 15 years, 20, a very long lived life is very long life for a pet is 20. Yeah, so that's maybe a third, no, probably even less, a quarter. That's maybe a quarter of a long human life.
Mm, mm,
The human has to now see the animal grow from a puppy or kitten and then age and eventually suffer and die.
yeah.
But that can be a great awakening because you see this playing out and you go, okay, it was 15 years ago, this thing was a puppy full of life. Now it's
Mm,
old and tired and I have to put it down. It's all very
mm,
sad. Well, but isn't that just a little microcosm of the whole dream? It's showing me what the dream is
yeah.
in that little span of time. It's showing me what my life is. We feel sad. It's like, well, that's what's going to come to me in
Mm,
the end.
yeah.
I'm gonna die, except in humans, we can't be put down. We just have to suffer until we die. It's
No. Yeah.
terrible.
It is.
Animals could just be like, okay, you can just release the animal from its pain, and it's done. If it's
Suffering.
done
Hmm.
humanely and compassionately, great. The animal doesn't need to suffer. Humans, oh, it's another story. No, the human's got to suffer.
I know. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Put them
Because
on.
what? Because we got to preserve the body and the so-called life that the person has at all costs, even if
I
they're
know.
in this terrible
The
pain and
terrible
suffering.
suffering. Yeah, I know.
For what purpose? So we can
Oh,
carry
yeah.
on suffering for a few more years. We can suck all the money out of their account because it's all going to go to the medical system, and then they're going to
Mm,
die anyway.
yeah.
Mad,
That's
totally bonkers,
that's what
crazy.
happened with my mother. Yeah.
Yeah, mad. And
Hmm.
this is supposedly some kind of sane system. This is what we've all got. It's like, no, it's just like, no, 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 no. It's just
Yeah.
saying, just look at it honestly, and you will see the insanity behind the whole thing. But none of this makes any sense at all.
Mm,
So am I willing then? The only question is, am I willing to change my mind about the world, about who I think I am and about the world? Am I willing to collapse this whole ridiculous dream and the identity that I think I have in the dream and let it all go and free myself once and for all? That's the question. Am I willing to do that, or am I going to linger here and hold on and try and find some purpose in this world?
mm. Yeah. Yeah. That's the big one. Are we willing? That's
Well,
the thing.
it should be obvious. You're like, well,
Oh,
yes, you're
yeah.
saying
Well, yes.
why? Why?
Yes.
Why would you? He's trying to convince us with all this teaching that this is pointless. Why would you do this? The only sacrifice, going back to paragraph 1 of this section, the only sacrifice that he's asking us for is danger, destruction, sin, death, madness, murder, grief, loss, and any of the other negatives the ego's invented. He's just saying, well, that's all you're going to let go of. And the little trinkets that the ego offered you were never more than a temptation and
Fleeting.
the icing on a very rotten cake. They never did anything but cover over this very dark dream of
Mm,
death and despair and destruction. So don't be fooled by the icing on the cake because it's a rotten cake. And it doesn't matter which way
mm.
you try and bake it or eat it, it's still rotten. You're never going to fix it.
Yeah.
So
No, no,
stop
no.
eating it.
Yes.
That's all
Quite
he's
clear to
saying. Get
see. Yes.
out.
Especially as we get older. Yeah. Yeah.
Stop it. Just let it go. Stop it because it's never going to work. So spiritual awakening is really just coming into like common sense awareness. Like, okay, just
Mm,
look honestly at what this world is and what this life is. See it for what it really is, without any of your illusions and distractions that the ego tries to interpose, and then you'll see clearly what it is, and then your decision is obvious.
mm,
It should be common sense that no, that you wouldn't want this. That the
mm.
only thing to do is to let it go. So this is a course in common sense, really.
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
gospel of, I was listening to Keith Kavanaugh, the gospel of now, he called his podcast. We could call this the gospel of common sense.
Mm,
Just like,
yeah.
except that this
True.
world is not common. So it's actually uncommon sense in this world. The course is the gospel of uncommon sense. That's you could retitle it. The
Mm.
gospel of uncommon sense. I quite like that. It probably
It
wouldn't
is a
make
good
sense to
one.
me
Yes.
uh,
That's true.
because it is uncommon in this world to understand this. It's much more common to believe in the dream of death and
Separation.
disaster and go along and just, like a lamb to the slaughter, on you go, on
Mm,
your unhappy way to eventual death. And for what point? For what purpose? Did it achieve anything? And did
yeah.
anything you do in your life, was any of that really meaningful?
Well, that's it.
And the answer is if it wasn't loving, if you weren't in love and peace and joy and being loving and kind, it had no meaning or purpose at all. It was just a crazy dream.
Mm, it's true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, it's
Mm,
true. I mean, this is true. So we just have to accept it. That's all he's saying. This is why the text is important, because it
mm,
helps us to really like, okay, like, let me just really get to grips with this. Let me see it for what it really is. And then I will make the only decision that I can make. And in my mind, something shifts and I go, yeah, I get it. This is the only way out. There is no other way. So I can look around and I can distract myself endlessly with seeking other ways and other spiritual paths, but it's all just smoke and mirrors, and I'm just procrastinating because I must eventually come to this realization and this decision, whichever path I follow. So why do I need another path to tell me the obvious? He's telling it to me right now. I don't need to, that's what I'm saying. You don't need to seek anywhere else. The answer's here.
Right,
He's
this
giving it to
holy
us
aware
straight.
moment. Yeah, right,
In
this
this holy
moment.
aware moment, in the now, he's giving us the answer in very plain, clear, explicit language. This is not rocket science, what he's saying here.
Mm, mm, mhm.
The only question is, will you accept it or not? And people don't accept it because they don't want to know. They want to keep their illusions instead. They don't
But
want to come to this final realization, okay, yeah, I get it. It is all pointless. My life, my identity here, my life here, all the dreams I've made up, it's all pointless. And I just need to let it go and get out.
mm,
That's the only function of my life. That's the only true purpose of my life.
yeah,
That's
he's
quite a
speaking for
radical
the
change.
majority. The
Yeah,
majority, I mean,
that's a radical change in most people's mindsets because everyone's giving some meaning and some purpose to the dream, and they carry on with that until death. And if they haven't corrected their mind, they come back and they do it again in another life. And you can do that as many times as you want. As he says, you're free to crucify yourself as many times as you want, to quote Yeshua in the text. But this is not the gospel I came to offer you. I came to offer you a way out of this crazy dream. If you will believe me and you'll follow my words and listen to me, then I'll show you the way. All right, so let's carry on. This world will bind your feet and tie your hands and kill your body only if you think that it was made to crucify God's Son.
um, this world will bind my feet, tie my hands, kill my body, only if I think that it was made to crucify perfect love's extension.
For even though it was a dream of death, you need not let it stand for this to you.
Uh, even though it was a dream of death, I need not let it stand. Oh,
I'm going to change it. I will not let it be this. That would be better, yeah?
this to me.
I need not let it be this for me.
Yeah.
Let this be changed, and nothing in the world but must be changed as well.
If I let this be changed, everything in the world must change as well.
So seek not to change the world, but seek to change your mind about the world. This is a restatement of that very fundamental principle of the Course. For nothing here but is defined as what you see it for.
For nothing here is defined as anything other than what I perceive it is for. From the top, this world will bind my feet, tie my hands, and kill my body, only if I think that it was made to crucify perfect love's extension. For even though it was a dream of death, I need not let it be this for me. If I let this be changed, everything in the world must change as well. For nothing here is defined as anything other than what I perceive it is for. So it's just talking about the dream again and how the world can bind us. And we think it was there to crucify who we truly are. But it's been a dream of death. And we don't have to let it be that way.
Yeah. So your body's going to die inevitably, but you don't have to give that a meaning and a reality, because the body is meaningless. The body doesn't mean anything. So nothing's really dying. It's just an illusion that's come into some kind of existence, and then it pops out of existence, and we call that process birth and death. But these are just images projected onto the screen by the ego mind. So just an image that on the screen that pops in and out of existence. Well, very fragile, very flimsy. Is this reality? Saying is this really what you want to perceive as true reality? Or will you look beyond the images to the screen onto which they projected, which they cover over, and see that actually all reality actually lies in the screen, which is the pure formless awareness of perfect love that underlies it all. So how lovely is the world whose purpose is forgiveness of God's Son.
How lovely is the world whose purpose is letting go of my misperceptions about perfect love's extension.
How free from fear, how filled with blessing and with happiness.
How free from fear, how filled with blessing and with happiness.
And what a joyous thing it is to dwell a little while in such a happy place.
And how joyful it is to be in such a happy place for a little while.
Nor in such a world can it be, nor can it be forgot in such a world. It is a little while till timelessness comes quietly to take the place of time.
Nor in such a world can it be forgotten that it is only a little while until eternity comes quietly to take the place of time. From the top.
Personalize that.
How lovely is the world whose purpose is to letting go of my misperceptions about perfect love's extension. How free from fear, how filled with blessing and with happiness, and how joyful it is to be in such a happy place for a little while. Nor in such a world can I forget that it will only be a little while until eternity comes quietly to take the place of time. So it's just saying how lovely the world would be if we would just let go of all the misperceptions about this perfect love's extension, us, and free from fear and blessing and blessed and, with happiness, how joyful and happy it would be.
Yeah, this is the happy dream that he's talking about. The happy dream of love to awaken us. And because we know that it's temporary, because we know that all the dream and the chaos and the disaster is not real, we can live here for a while quite happily. Okay, because none of that's true, none of that's real. And I'm going more and more into this inner state of happiness, peace, love, joy. I'm extending that out into the world, and it's okay. I can be here for a while. It's no big deal. It's not gonna be, only a little while. I mean, our lives are so brief.
Mm.
What is? I mean, I was thinking, yeah, just the other day, because we're gonna scrap our car. We got it just after Gabriel was born.
Yeah.
10 years gone. Like that. Car's
Mm.
gone, and you go, where did that go?
Mm.
10 years, significant part of your life, a decade, maybe 1/8, 1/9, 1/10 of your life, depending on how long you live, just gone. Such a little while, gone.
Mm. Oh, yeah.
So it's not going to be very long until eternity comes. If you do your work and you let go of the world, eternity will come quite quickly. This world will pass away, and quite quickly. Time goes very quickly, actually. So okay, it's fine for a while. You can learn your lessons, do your homework, do your forgiveness lessons, learn them, dedicate your mind to awakening, be as happy and peaceful as possible, and it's okay for a while. And then eternity will come, and this will be your last lifetime, and the whole thing will just be undone, fade away, and be undone. So with that thought, you can handle here. You can be okay in the world
Yeah.
for a while. It's not the ultimate destination. It's temporary, but it's okay for a while. That's
Yeah.
essentially what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bearing in mind that, yeah, it is going to come to an end and eternity will take its place. And you're in the process of allowing that to happen. As you do your forgiveness, you're allowing eternity to replace time and space in your mind. So that ultimately, when you finally let your body go, and the body dies, your mind is healed and corrected, and there's no need to come back. The idea of separation in your mind is gone. So we don't need to come back into another body, into this world and experience another lifetime. Makes complete sense. So much sense. So simple. The gospel of common sense or uncommon sense in this world, because most people don't understand this. They have
Mm.
no idea what their lives are really about and what it's really for.
Mm.
If you don't
Well,
understand your purpose, what can you expect but confusion? You got it all wrong. Your purpose is wrong. So everything follows from your purpose. Well, your purpose then is, if your purpose is wrong, your whole life is going to be wrong.
yeah.
And that's the ego. An upside down life. It's all upside down. It's backwards. In fact, evil is just love spelled backwards.
Yes, I remember you
So
saying.
it's just to live your life backwards. Okay, well, that's all it is. You're just confused. You don't really know the true purpose of your life, and you think it's something else, and then you live it backwards, and it's all upside down, and then you suffer. But all you've got to do is reverse it. Switch evil around, and it becomes, well, you live truly. You have what Yeshua called an abundant life in a happy dream. If you practice letting go, you can turn it all around at any moment if you just choose to change your mind. But you must change your mind. You must exercise the only power that you have, which is to change your mind about the world and about yourself in the process. Okay, let's do the summary quickly. It's just 3 paragraphs, four with the message.
Yeah. I must reflect on my willingness to let go of misperceptions of my companion and to choose peace over conflict, pain, and separation. By letting go, I experience peace, ending the illusions of destruction and fear. I am reminded that I, as an extension of perfect love, am immortal, changeless, and cannot be defined by time or death. Time will end, but my true self, being an extension of perfect love, remains unaffected by man-made concepts. I can reinterpret, or shall I just finish it off and then
Yeah. So any thoughts on that? I mean, quick reflection.
just having this willingness to let go of all the
Hmm.
misconceptions, misperceptions, and you know, enter into this perfect love and immortal, changeless, true self.
That's unaffected by any man-made concepts.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I can reinterpret change as being a gift from perfect love to ensure that ultimately the only changeless state of pure formless awareness becomes my eternal reality. Although my mind can set goals that appear to be unchanging, they are not really unchanging if they are set in time. But I still remain the power to change my mind and align with my true purpose.
So that's huge, right? This is the whole course, really. The one power the ego cannot take away from you is the power to change your mind about everything. And you always have that capacity. In every moment, you have that ability. That's the miracle, isn't it? The miracle is that exercising the power to change your mind in each moment. That's the miracle.
Mm, mm,
And then it becomes really pretty practical. This is quite practical. It's quite common sense. Yes, I can change my mind. I can, because in any moment I can change my perception of any situation. What do I think it's for? What do I think it means? That's the one power you have. The ego cannot take that away from you. And the course is really the exercise, is a mind training course to help you to exercise that power consciously with the right purpose in mind, rather than the wrong-minded purpose of the ego. Okay. I believe it was created to crucify my true self. I'll read this one. This reinforces that the world only limits me. However, by letting go of this belief, my perception of the world and its meaning will change. I must perceive the world through the lens of letting go and innocence, which leads to a place free from fear and filled with happiness. What place? It's a state of mind. It's free from fear and filled with happiness. However, this state is temporary until eternity replaces time, which is the ultimate goal of awakening. Okay, so what's he saying there?
Well, this belief in separation was created to crucify our true self, reinforcing the world on its limits. But by letting go of this belief, we can perceive the world as it truly is. This is letting go is the thing, isn't it? And then it will reveal our innocence and our correct state of mind, free of all the fear and filled with joy and happiness, our true state, instead of this temporary state.
Eventually eternity replaces time. So there's the end destination, but there's the journey to get there. So let's just summarize that in here. Where are we? Okay, I don't know what's happening there. We're going to, that is what I wanted. The Holy Trinity. No, we don't want that. I don't know what does that sometimes. Random. So we're here in time, we're awakening, there's a happy dream of healing, transformation, awakening, etc. going on here. This is what the course is training us to do. And eventually it's all going to end in eternity, which is at the top level. But while we're in time, there's this process of transformation, healing, awakening, correction, miracles, whatever you want to call it, that's going on. And that's okay. As long as that's happening, you can be in a happy dream, knowing that ultimately your destination is this eternal state of pure formless awareness, in which none of the stuff in time exists anymore. All of the people, things, places, events, circumstances, situations, trauma, successes, failures, and every experience that seems to exist and happen in the physical universe of time and space is all undone, ceases to exist. This entire blue box and also this intermediate level, the mezzanine level of the true self or the Christ, disappears. It's not needed anymore. The Holy Spirit, Christ are not needed if there's no dream anymore, and it all collapses back into oneness. And so that's why he's teaching to say God is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. It was this at the beginning before time was, and it will be this at the end when time is over. And it will be exactly the same fundamental reality that has never changed one bit, irrespective of what's happened in this crazy dream. Okay, so then just the key message, you can read that.
I must let go of my misperceptions and embrace peace instead, recognizing my eternal nature as the extension of perfect love. Correctly interpreted, change frees me from my fear of illusions, which is my true purpose in this world, leading me to be happy in time and awaken to the knowledge of the eternal that is beyond time. Yeah, very good. Does it all? Yeah.
Yeah. So change, correctly interpreted, change frees me from my fear of illusion, which is my true purpose in the world, leading me to be happy in time and awaken to the knowledge of eternal that is beyond time. And I add in, I must exercise The only power I have in the dream, which is to change my mind about myself and the world. To facilitate this awakening. Just read that. Read that again. Just make sure it makes sense.
I must let go of my misperceptions and embrace peace instead, recognizing my eternal nature as an extension of perfect love. Correctly interpreted, change frees me from my fear of illusions, which is my true purpose in this world, leading me to be happy in time and awaken to the knowledge of the eternal that is beyond time. I must exercise the only power I have in the dream, which is to change my mind about myself and the world to facilitate this awakening.
Yeah, I think that's
Mm-hmm. That's good.
that's really the key point. You must change your mind.
Yeah.
So yes, you're giving us the keys. He's saying, I can help you, but you must change your mind about this. It's the only way out. If you want to keep the ego's purpose in mind, and you want to keep honoring that, I cannot help you. You continue to crucify yourself, suffer and die over and over and over again.
Mm.
You must embrace this. You must accept this course, as he says, at some point, this course will be accepted entirely or not at all. You either go, yes, I'm all in, Jesus, not to start with, because it takes time to get to that
Mm.
point.
Mm.
But at some point, you've got to go, yeah, I'm all into this. This is my entire purpose. This is the way I choose to live my life. I totally buy this, and therefore I totally reject the ego. Because I cannot have both. They contradict each other. I see that very clearly.
Mm.
And we all get to that point. The more you study it, practice it, the more you come to that point of, well, I have to choose. And I can't make a sort of a compromised choice. It's one or the other. There's a very clear distinction between them. And then you make that choice and you keep making it. You keep making that choice by letting go of your dreams and your illusions as they show up. But there's a commitment, there's an understanding. What the text gives you is this high level understanding of, yeah, I must make this choice. And this is why I must make this choice, because he's explained it all to you. And so it makes sense. It's not blind faith. He's saying, I'm telling you why, and I'm giving you the logic behind letting go. And this is why letting go really is the only thing that makes sense in this world. And he gives us that logic very clearly and explicitly over and over again in the course, because he knows that our minds need a lot of convincing. We're very stubbornly, persistently following the ego,
Yep.
and we need to continuously be told, well, why this is not a good idea. To free our minds from that, stubborn adherence to the ego's insanity and free them to awaken. And that's what the course is about, and that's what the text particularly does. It's the logic of it, isn't it? The text is the theory and the logic.
Oh,
So
it
you get
is.
that clear in your mind, and then the workbook is like, okay, I'm going to
That's the
practice this.
practice. Yeah.
I'm actually going to put it
Practice.
into practice by using the lesson to help me to undo something that I'm struggling with. So we've got about 15 minutes or so if you happy to carry on and do the lesson. All right. So that's the text done. Let's
So
go
what is
into
that?
the
Yeah,
lesson.
15 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll just skip we did that yesterday. Read it on your own. What is the world?
Oh, yes.
But
Right.
we can't cover that. I mean, see, sort of, what is the world? Well, the world's an illusion. It's designed to confuse and delude you, and you just need to see it for what it is and let it go. Essentially, that's what he's saying in this introductory section. And then the lesson just, it practices that. Okay, so if you want to read that.
Mhm. Today I will judge nothing that occurs. I will not judge anything that seems to happen today. Yeah. Yes,
We're
that's
not
it.
judging there. I've got it's a pretty shocking picture, but I put these pictures on for effect. You know, there's this guy being kicked on the
Mm,
ground. And so, you know, our tendency is to react to these events. Go, oh, isn't that terrible? And so,
yes.
you know, it's so horrible this stuff happens. But it doesn't matter what happens, you know, nothing that occurs, I will not judge it, because if I judge it, what do? I give it a reality in my mind. I go, oh, this is really happening. This is scary. This is fearful. This is awful. This is terrible. And it becomes real in my mind. And so all of the hatred and the fear and the guilt and the attack all becomes real in my mind when I judge anything as real. And that's what he's saying. I will judge nothing that occurs because judgment makes it real. Again, that's a major lesson we have to learn in this world. And you see how tempting it is to judge. What
Yes.
do people do? Oh, you never know. I mean, this is how gossip goes, isn't it? Oh, you never believe what happened. And then, you know, this person did this, or oh, isn't it terrible? You know, this you're talking about that suicide of that singer. You know, isn't
Oh,
it
yes.
terrible? You know, a man committed
Oh, it's
suicide,
still on
isn't
the
it?
news. It's still on the
Yeah,
news.
and then everyone just goes on and on and on about it, and they judge it as real. And then the whole dream of death and disaster seems real to everyone.
Yeah, no, there's thousands upon
Mm.
thousands of fans, around his shrine where he passed away. Well, he fell off, did
Mm.
he fell off a balcony or something? I don't know.
Mm.
To be honest, I haven't been watching too much, but as you know, Dave watches a lot of it. But
But
to
the
see
point
it's
is, they're making it real. So they judge it as a real occurrence. Isn't it terrible? He died. Isn't it so sad? I'm sure there's fans who are heartbroken, who are in mourning. Oh, you know, remember when Princess Diana died? I mean, there was
oh
like
yeah, oh my goodness,
massive
yeah.
outpouring of grief. Everyone's so, because you know she's this beautiful woman, but she's no different from anyone else who's died. It's
Yeah,
the same thing. She just was a very special character in the dream. So everyone's like terribly sad, but it happens all the time. People are dying moment by moment. Like in this moment, right now, someone died somewhere in the world, guaranteed. Every second, someone's dying. And
yeah,
another one dies, and another one dies, and another, you know, it's happening all the time.
yeah,
We just don't see it all the time. It's not in our awareness all the time, so we forget about it.
yeah,
But it's happening all the time, and people are being born all the time. So someone born, die, born, die, born, and that's happening literally as we're speaking. That's happening.
yeah. Hmm.
It's insane when you look at it. Like characters are popping into existence in the dream, and others are expiring and disappearing from the dream, and that's going on all the time. If you could actually zoom out of the whole world and you saw it all in some kind of fast motion, it would be crazy. You'd just be like, my God,
What is this?
images flashing all over the place, characters popping into and out of existence, chaos, madness. Just, my God, just stop.
Mm.
Pull the
Well,
plug.
obviously, this
That's
pop
the lesson.
star and Princess Diana were what was called special people, weren't they? They've been
So
pedestalized.
supposedly very important people, VIPs. Why? Because the other people have attached importance to them. They've given them a status in their mind that makes them somehow special. And there's the dream of specialness.
Mm,
Oh, no, no, they're more special. So we're going to get more sad when they die. But when someone we don't even know dies, no one pays any attention. Well, that's okay.
mm,
Someone just
mm.
died. Well, who cares? But you know, the
Yeah.
special people care about. It's just ridiculous. It's because it's
Mm,
happening all the time.
mm,
So just see it for what it is.
mm.
It's just a crazy dream. Just
Yeah.
wake up from it.
Hmm.
Get out. Leave it behind. Okay, so then he says, I will be honest with myself today. I like this.
I will be honest with myself today.
I will not think that I already know what must remain beyond my present grasp.
I will not think that I already know what must remain beyond my present grasp.
Just carry on, read it. It's all in the first person
Uh,
alternative meaning. It's almost
I will not,
until context.
yeah, I will not think I understand the whole from bits of my perception, which are all that I can perceive. Today I recognize this is true, and so I'm relieved of judgments that I cannot make. In this way, I free myself and what I perceive so that I am in peace as pure formless awareness and perfect love intends me to be.
Yeah, the original was as God created us. So to be in
Yeah.
peace as God created us, as pure formless awareness of perfect love intends me to be, is in peace. That's all. All God wants from us is peace. We're
Mm.
like, no, no, I don't want peace. I'd rather
And
have
excitement.
pain and suffering and madness and death and
Well, I guess,
disaster, chaos. I'd rather have that than peace. That's what we say when we don't
but the ego doesn't
listen to this
really
voice.
see that, though, don't they? They just think that they're going to live happily ever after and find peace in, as you say, a relationship or whatever. That's what people are
Yeah.
seeking, the happiness of,
We think
you know,
we'll find some happiness here in the world, and the ego's always, seeking to find
yes,
some kind
that's
of satisfaction,
doesn't
salvation, some kind of peace and happiness here, and it fails over
but
and
yeah,
over
it does. I mean,
and
I was going to
over
say it
again.
doesn't zoom in on the murder and what have you, but I suppose it does because everybody watches the news. Well, not everybody, but a lot of
Yeah,
people.
well, everyone, oh my God, isn't this terrible? Oh, it's so terrible, that young man. Oh, da 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 da
Well,
da.
who else is
And it makes it
headline?
all real in people's minds.
Well, it's this other headline news, isn't it? Something I know last night about 10 o'clock, just because I like to read my book and Dave puts the TV on because it was so exciting. You have to
Hmm.
have it on. It was this Hamas leader has been killed. That was the headline. Yeah.
Ah, more
And Dave,
death. Great.
yes,
Ah, it's
Dave
just
came
like
dashing down.
wasn't enough death for one day, so we just got to like add that in at the tail end of
But
it. So
this one,
look, there's some more death for you just
but
before
this
you go
one
to
seems
bed.
to,
Wait, go to sleep on that, thinking
yeah,
about death and disaster and
but Dave
murder.
had to come down the stairs. And I thought, what's he rushing down there for the 10 o'clock news with big
Oh,
news?
no, no, the ego needs its next fix of death and disaster. We haven't had enough in the morning, so we've got to get some more in the evening.
Yeah,
Just before we go
quite.
to bed, really
I know
program our minds into
I was a bit
the death
disappointed because,
disaster system when we go to sleep. Great.
yeah, whereas I'm just watching my nice videos,
Oh, you just gotta like, but you see why
Yeah,
you can't reconcile these systems. It's like
no, no,
it's one or the other.
yeah, it is insane. You're quite right. It is
Totally.
totally.
Why would you spend valuable time and energy watching this rubbish?
I
Why? What
know,
does
but
it do for
many
you?
people do.
Oh, no, I need to be informed about all the chaos and the madness
But
in the
that's
world. Why?
yes, but that's what my
Does it
father
have
would
any
say.
effect on your life? If World War III broke out, maybe, granted, but then you're going to hear about it anyway. Trust me, if World War III
Can't get
broke
away.
out, you would hear about it pretty rapidly because they
You
would be
would.
like, okay, massive announcement, go into your bunkers, we're going to have a nuclear attack. So you would hear about it. So
You
don't
would.
worry about that. If that happens, then you'll hear about it. But all this other stuff is like, so what?
I know. Yeah.
There's no
I
impact on your life. You can't do anything about it.
well,
All it does confirms to you that the world is a horrible place and everything dies. Well, is that really the message you want to give your mind over and over and over again?
well, David Heifmeister, he just says death is a non-event. It's a
Yeah.
non-event. But yeah, it's getting our
It's
head
not
round.
real. The body isn't real.
Yeah.
So the death of the body, which was never real, cannot be anything
No.
because the body was never truly existing. It was an image. Think of it as an image. This is helpful. It's an image projected onto a screen in a movie. And the images pop into and out of existence. They might seem to last a few years, or they might seem to last 90, 100 years, but it's just an image.
Mm.
And then
Mm.
the image goes and it's not projected onto the screen anymore.
Mm.
But if the whole movie is just false, that none of those images are real anyway, does it really matter if images come in and out of existence in this movie? It doesn't, because the movie is not real. That's the teaching.
Mm.
The only thing that's real is the screen onto which they project it,
Which is the formless awareness.
which
Yeah.
is formless awareness. And you are that screen. I
Yeah.
am that I am says you are that awareness. So you're nothing separate from the screen. You are that awareness, and you are one with the fundamental screen onto which it's all projected and that covers it over. And that's all you have to realize. Well, that's kind of simple, really. It's
Mm.
not rocket science, is it?
Oh,
You just got to
well,
ignore
yes,
the entire dream. All the images are
it's so
just
difficult. Mm. Yeah.
pointless waste of time. All right, so let's do the final prayer.
Yeah.
Father, today I leave creation free to be itself.
My source today, I allow your extension to be itself.
I honor all its parts in which I am included.
I honor all its parts in which I am included.
We are one because each part contains your memory, and truth must shine in all of us as one.
We are one because each part contains your memory, and truth must shine in all of us as one.
From the top,
Yeah. My source today, I allow your extension to be itself. I honor all its parts in which I am included. We are one because each part contains your memory, and truth must shine in all of us as one.
It's a nice prayer to contemplate and close the session on. Unless if you got some time, I'll do a meditation, but if you have to go at 1:30 then.
Yeah, no, I'm going to have to go because I've got appointments and I've got this meditation, the Vipassana course I've got to do. Yeah, so I'd better go.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. Yeah, well, we did the lesson in the text. We just didn't do a meditation, but I'll send you a meditation. You can do it
Oh,
later.
great, and I can do that this
There's
evening.
already one on the group, but I'll send another one. I think we recorded it last year or 2 years ago. So I'll send you another one, or we'll use the one on the group and just do that sometime.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So good session, Elaine.
Very good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice. Yeah,
yeah,
the
good session.
text is when you get stuck into it,
Oh, the text is
and you
the
really
one.
discuss it. I mean, the text is so rich and
It
deep and
is.
meaningful.
Yes, that's
I
the
love
one.
it.
It puts meaning into the lessons, whereas it can
Yeah.
get a bit sort of
Yeah.
autopilot when you're in the lessons if it's, if you don't get the heart of it.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, well, these later lessons, what he's assuming is, okay, you've been doing my course, you're reading the text, you should be, getting, if you do it like we've done it daily, you should be getting to the end of the text, which as we are.
yeah,
So a lot of this understanding is there. You've done all
yeah,
the initial part one workbook lessons, some of which were quite long, where he goes into a little bit more of the detail of the ego system. And now it's just about practicing. The meditations are a simple pointer to get you into the truth and
yes,
experience. That's what they're for. They're meditations rather than the theory and it's more about, okay, I'm just quieting my mind, I'm letting go of all the stuff, and I'm going into
this,
this experience of the truth.
yes. Mm-hmm.
That's what they're for. So best practiced as meditations. You listen, just rather than reading, which tends to activate the intellectual mind. You listen as a meditation, and you allow the words to guide you into an experience of this peace and this awareness that he's pointing to.
Yeah,
That's what he's intending the second part of the workbook for, that you deepen your experience into the truth through practicing the lessons, and then the the theory starts to make sense in your experience because you're actually experiencing this pure formless awareness of perfect love. You're experiencing the peace of God that surpasses all understanding,
mm-hmm.
which is obviously necessary. Otherwise, the course, as Helen said, the text could just become a series of abstractions, which you never really understand because you don't have any practical experience. the concepts might make sense, but experience is needed to really make it make sense. So you need both, to do the course properly. As Ken Wapnick was adamant, he said, you're not doing the course if you're just doing one or the other. Many people just do the lessons, they don't do the text. Well, you're not really doing the course. You haven't done the course until you've done the text, the lessons, and the manual for teachers, and the other bits, the clarification of terms and stuff, also part of it. So you need to read the whole thing. All right. So shall we leave it there? It's at 3:30. You've got to go.
Yep. Okay.
Thanks, Elaine. Good session. Have a good weekend. I will see you on Monday. Yeah.
Monday.
Should we
That's
do
great.
Monday afternoon? You good with that?
Should be fine at the moment, yes, because at the moment works, not
Okay.
there. So, yep.
All right.
Yeah. So have a great weekend.
Flow.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Namaste.
Bye. Namaste.
Bye for now. Okay, so that's a wrap for today. If you were watching the live stream or you're watching the recording, take the next step. If you'd like to take the next step in your journey of awakening, subscribe to the channel. That's very easy to do. Just hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever I go live, which is 3 or 4 times a week. If you'd like to take an even bigger step, just go to lifebuild.com. You'll see that in the background of my virtual screen, Lifebuild, and then just put a .com on that, type that into your browser, and you can then sign up to a Telegram group, to which I send the daily quote that we didn't get a chance to discuss, did we, today? No, we just did the lesson. So there's daily inspirational quote. There's a bit of mind training, sort of a blog post that I talk about the quote that leads into the lesson, which is a lesson from A Course in Miracles, reinterpreted, translated into an alternative language, so that the traditional Christian terms like God, Christ, Holy Spirit are translated into pure formless awareness of perfect love, true self, remembrance of perfect love. These kinds of terms are all become a bit more meaningful when translated. It seems to be helpful. So you can get those translations by signing up to the group, and the Telegram. It will come to you daily on Telegram, and you'll also get access to these live sessions on Zoom. You'll get the Zoom link, so you can join the sessions and join us on this journey of awakening. So go to lifebuild.com, do that, sign up to the channel if you haven't already, and I hope to catch you on the inside soon. Thank you for listening or watching, and namaste, which means the true self in me honors that same true self, which knows peace in you. Wishing you much love, peace, and joy. Bye for now.